We'll call to order the Ascension Parish Council meeting for Thursday, January 19th. If everyone would stand for the prayer and the pledge. The prayer tonight will be given by Reverend Mark Ellis. Mark, if you would come before the microphone, please.
Eternal God, we come to say thank you for this is a day that you have made for us, and we are to rejoice and be glad in it. We thank you for the gift of life and the opportunity to serve you with that life. We thank you for the purpose of this meeting tonight and the agenda that is set forth. While the collaboration and the discussion takes place, God, we ask for your wisdom, your knowledge, and your understanding as we appropriate the resources that you've given us, as we prioritize the needs of this community. We ask again for your wisdom and your understanding. We pray for the power of agreement tonight, God, that we can come together and collaborate upon the issues that we face in this community. And that somehow, God, through the collective discussion, an agreement is reached, the power of agreement is made, and God, the good of all is seen. We pray your blessings again upon all those in attendance. And this is our prayer in your son's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. We're also honored tonight by the second grade class at Oak Grove Elementary, Miss Cynthia LaFernie's class. They are going to be signing the Pledge of Allegiance for us. Thank you very much, boys and girls, and Miss LaFernie. That's wonderful. All right, roll call. I have all members present other than Councilman Joseph. I have no chair's additions. As for the public comment period, please remember to sign in. You'll have your chance to speak for 3 minutes. Sign in with Ms. Cinnamon. Presentations. We have a couple presentations tonight. First, honoring the basketball coaches at Santa Monica NEA, President Martinez.
Councilman Sexton-Anna to please introduce these two gentlemen.
Thank you, President Martinez. We're very, very lucky in Ascension Parish for the people that we have here in our school system and leading our children and our future leaders of the parish and of the state. As you can see from the second grade class here, and it goes on all the way up in high school. We have two gentlemen that we wanted to honor tonight. Over the Christmas holidays, they hit some milestones in the basketball coaching circles with 700 and 800 wins, respectively. It doesn't really matter. Once you get up that high, it's a tremendous amount of success that they've had. But also, what they've done is demonstrated how you go about doing things in the right manner. And I think they both reflect that, Gary and Kenny. And I also want to remind people, while we had an opportunity this past year, we also had two outstanding coaches that have retired. Greg Hill at Donaldsonville, who had over 600 victories, and he always did it right. And Coach Butch Little, who was also at Donaldsonville as a girls coach, had coached at East Ascension for a long time, had over 750 victories, and he always did it right. So it's a very special thing to see all the lives that these people have touched. And we take 2 of them tonight. That also represents a lot of other people that, that we want to honor them and thank you for all that you've done. Thank you, Gary and Kenny.
First of all, I'd like to call up Coach Kenny Allman. The Parish of Ascension is proud to present this certificate of achievement to Coach Kenny Allman for recently surpassing 800 career wins as head coach of the East Ascension High School Spartans boys basketball team. We join Councilman Chairman Chris Lohr and the entire Ascension Parish Council in congratulating Coach Allman for all you do and have done to make a positive impact on the youth of Ascension Parish. Coach Allman, thank you.
I'd like to thank the City Parish Council and the mayor and everyone who's invited Gary and myself up here. This is, I know Gary will say the same things. This represents a lot of kids and a lot of other coaches along the way and a lot of luck. And in my case, more years than Gary. So that's why we've got maybe 100 more or whatever. But we really do appreciate it, and it makes you think back on all of the guys that helped you along the way. I know Gary and myself probably would both say we were around a great coach named Rick Huckabee. And when his tenure at LSU with Coach Brown, both of those guys had a lot to do with our, I guess, approach to the game. And I've learned a whole lot from Gary from every time they've beaten us, and hopefully, you know, vice versa. But we really do appreciate this. It represents a lot of good kids and a lot of parents who sent them to us, and we were lucky enough to cross paths. Thank you very much.
Next, Coach Gary Dewey. Certificate of Achievement. This certificate is hereby awarded to Coach Gary Dewey, head boys basketball coach, San Mo High School Gators. The Parish of Ascension is proud to present the Certificate of Achievement to Coach Gary Dewey for recently surpassing 700 career wins as head coach of the San Mo High School Gators boys basketball team. We join Council Chairman Chris Lohr and the entire Parish Council in congratulating Coach Dewey for all you do and have done to make a positive impact on the youth of Ascension Parish. Coach Dewey, we appreciate everything you've done. I was married to a teacher for 36 years, and I know she told me that. So, you know, I know what you go through not only in coaching but in teaching, and we really appreciate all the efforts that you and Coach Allman have given to the youth of Ascension Parish.
Thank you a lot. I'd like to echo what Coach Allman said, and you know, it's by choice that we just colored our hair gray. It's not because of all the kids we've coached, but I think it's really neat that we've both been doing this for a long time, and although we've had to change probably some of the things along the way, I think both of us, our core values haven't changed, and I think that's why we've been, you know, fairly successful at the schools we've been at. But I think it's really neat that we both probably ending our careers in Ascension Parish, and I think it says a lot about the quality of the school system that you have here and the quality of the parents and the support groups that you have, because we're here by choice, not because we were forced to come here. And it's once you get here, you can't leave. And I've been here 12 years, and it seems like it was last year was my first year. So really, really value our jobs. We value working here, and we thank you for the support and thank you for this award. Appreciate it.
Thank you, coaches. Next up, I'm not sure if everyone saw the news this week, but we had an incredible story of a hero in Ascension Parish, someone who put their life at risk to save another, and we're proud to honor Mr. Mike Bro. If you'd come forward, please.
First of all, I've been knowing Mike for quite a number of years before we both had gray hair. It's been a long time, and I know what type of character this man has, and it's always been giving to the community. He's always volunteered. If you go anywhere around, especially the Santa Monica area, you will see Mike Bro if there's an event that is charitable or giving. He gives his time, and he's just a great guy. He's a good citizen in Ascension Parish, and of course this past weekend demonstrated how great a guy he is. And I'm proud of Mike and proud of all the volunteer firemen in Ascension Parish. They do a wonderful job. I've had occasion a couple times to use them. My wife I let some gumbo on one time, and electricity went off, and my house caught a fire, and the fireplace kicked some cinders out and caught a fire. So Santa Monica Fire Department was there in time, and I really appreciate them, probably more so than most because of what you do. But again, all the volunteers in our area, in our parish, do such a great job. And last year, Phyllis and some others organized a volunteer day for the firemen, for the volunteer firemen in Ascension Parish and all the firemen. And it was a wonderful event, and all you guys deserve it. But tonight, Mike, we're here to honor you for what you did. And there's no doubt in my mind that what you did, every volunteer fireman here in Ascension Parish would do if had the opportunity came up. And that's why we love y'all so much, and that's why we're the parish that we are. So without any further ado, I'd like to make a presentation, a small token of our appreciation. Certificate of recognition. This certificate is hereby awarded to Safety Officer Mike Bro, volunteer firefighter, Santa Monica Volunteer Fire Department. The Parish of Ascension is proud to present the certificate of recognition to Safety Officer Mike Bro of the Santa Monica Volunteer Fire Department. Mr. Bro is being recognized for his actions taken while responding to a house fire on Sunday morning, January 15, 2012. Mr. Bro removed a resident from the house before an explosion occurred at that location. We join Council Chairman Chris Law and the entire Parish Council and also the entire parish in recognizing the heroism displayed by Mr. Bro. Mike, we appreciate you.
It's a great pleasure to be here tonight for the people, the support, and also when we get called to duty, to be able to go out to help protect and save lives on a day-to-day basis. I have been living in this parish 30-something years, and I can tell you it's not a day that goes by when we get called and I hear that pager go off. We get up all hours of the night, the morning, to go out and protect our community. And with great honor, I will continue to do so. Thank y'all so much.
Let me just say that again. I've come before you before, and all our brothers and sisters are here tonight too, and I appreciate that. Ascension Parish again is blessed to have the volunteer fire departments in Ascension Parish that we have. I would ask that nobody in this room ever take that away from us. I mean, we leave our families on a daily basis to take care of this community, and we don't get paid for it. And Mike is an example of what we live for every day. We get up every day, we go to bed every night doing nothing but protecting the residents of this parish, and we don't receive 1 cent for it, and we enjoy doing it. Sunday at 7:30, we got called to a working house fire. I'm not going to go into all the details, but this family was a family of 12. Everybody in this family was disabled. There's not a soul in this family that wasn't disabled. They was either in wheelchairs, they had some type of disability, on oxygen, and Mike, who happened to live on Black Bayou Road about 1.5 miles from where this fire took place, instead of going to the fire station and getting a truck, he actually responded straight to the call. And if Mike Bro doesn't respond straight to this call and pull this 90-year-old lady out of a house in a wheelchair, this lady doesn't make it. And we're here, and then we would be here recognizing Mike for his efforts, but we would be at a funeral also this week. You know, so it's because of the efforts of Mike that we recognize him tonight. But also, I don't want anybody to lose focus. There was 50 volunteer firemen that spent 8 hours at this house Sunday. 8 total hours at this house Sunday. And then it hasn't stopped there. We put this family up in the Leadership Ascension Firehouse on 621. We've been getting food for them every day, food for them every night. We got their medication for them. We've been getting all their medical needs for them. So the volunteerism doesn't stop when the fire's out. It continues on. And I'm just telling you, I'm just blessed to be a part of the group. And Parish President Martinez and all the councilmen, I just tell you, it's a blessing to be able to stand before you today and recognize such a wonderful hero and all the heroes that stand in this room tonight that represent the fire service of Ascension Parish. We are indeed blessed. Thank you.
All right, next item is the Parish President's Report. President Martinez? Okay. We'll move on then to item number 7. The chair would entertain a motion to move the consent agenda.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Councilman Todd Lambert.
Second.
Second by Councilman Randy Kluwat.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Councilman Satterley.
I would like to, before we go to a vote, recuse myself from 7A and B since I was not at those council meetings. My first service would be 7C. And on those particular minutes, if the chair wishes, I can offer a substitute adoption motion. I am not listed as present at that meeting, and I was there. And Chris, I guess you listed as being there twice, so maybe a simple fix would be to take one of your names off and replace that with my own.
Okay, so your motion is to correct the typo?
Correct the typographical error in 7C.
Okay. I have that as a motion on item 7C.
Second.
Second by Councilman Joseph. Any further discussion? Any objection to that motion? If not, the consent agenda will be approved as amended. Thank you. Item number 8, the approval of the meeting date change for the February 2nd regular council meeting. The chair would entertain a motion to move it to Tuesday, February 7th. That's to accommodate the timeline with trying to seat the new Planning and Zoning Commission.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman MC Lambert. Any objection? Motion passes. Item number 8.1 is the discussion of the Baton Rouge Loop. I have 2 speakers. Harold McGee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As this council ponders the Baton Rouge Loop project and whether or not the council is going to present a united front with the legislative delegation and the parish president from Ascension, I thought it would be pertinent to look at what the primary proponents, Baton Rouge, is doing to alleviate traffic congestion, inter-parish traffic congestion. 10 years ago, a $200 million plan to widen I-10 from the Mississippi River Bridge to the Essen Lane exit was vigorously opposed and defeated by business and citizens along that route. On December 29th of last year, 2011, DOT Secretary Sherry LaBarre announced that widening I-10 in Baton Rouge from the Mississippi River Bridge to the I-10-I-12 split deserves scrutiny and study. To quote Ms. LeBlanc, "We all know that we have a bottleneck from the bridge out to the split. We need to figure out solutions we could implement to help traffic flow move smoothly through the area, especially in light of all the widening work that's been accomplished in the I-10, I-12 corridors." Less than 48 hours after that announcement, an article appeared in the Advocate, "I-10 widening talk upsets area." And just to quote a few citizens and businessmen in that area, quote, "We'll wreck the neighborhood," quote, "Ambiance would be jeopardized in the name of traffic improvements," quote, "I don't know what type of collateral damage you're going to have to deal with to have people moving faster through here," quote, "I tell you there will be more opposition than there was before." Those quotes sound familiar because no doubt many of you have had similar comments from your constituents here in Ascension. As you ponder whether or not we're going to present a united front from this parish on this issue, keep in mind that the main proponents are not doing anything within their parish boundaries to alleviate traffic congestion in the parish. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Our next speaker is Mr. Robert Watts.
Good evening. I appreciate the chance to talk to you fellas and lady. I want to thank Mr. Martinez for his stand on the loop. And I just want to give you all a little information in case you end up having a vote on whether or not to oppose this thing. Monday is the deadline for comment at this EIS, Environmental Impact Statement Tier 1. If you don't get anything in by Monday, then you have no say-so whatsoever. This program is not going to fix the traffic. It's being touted as relieving all the congestion, but it absolutely cannot do that. And the reason it can't do that is because 73% of the traffic on the interstates in Baton Rouge is local traffic. It's not through traffic. People use it instead of using the surface streets. Baton Rouge did not pass a dedicated road tax for almost 40 years. The last one they did was in 1996, and now they're starting to work on the Green Light Project, which is a good deal, but it's woefully too late. So if you could take all 27% of the through traffic off that interstate at rush hour, the volume is still going to overwhelm it. The interstates need to be widened even further. It's not going to cost $4.5 billion, and those were $28. $08. So no telling what the cost is now. It's going to, the routes that were picked, I don't know much about in Ascension Parish. I'm from Livingston Parish, and we've been fighting this thing for 3 years. There's 3 routes up there, and every one of them goes through subdivisions, churches, right adjacent to schoolhouses. There was no consideration given for those kind of things because they picked the routes for profit. It wasn't about transportation. It was about profit. You're going to see an increase in crime. There's going to be a loss of sense of the community where these things split subdivisions or come close to subdivisions. You're going to have overburdened infrastructure in the areas where people start moving in next to the interchanges, and the interchanges are not supposed to be that close together. There'll be diminished home values when they pick these routes and they tie up your land. You can't do anything with it. All this information is coming from the implementation plan, straight from them. I'm not making any of this up. They say that the average person driving on this tollway will drive 12 miles one way, 24 miles round trip. It costs the average person $900 a year. Some of y'all know about Louisiana Revised Statute 48-2020. That's the part that says that they can't come through anybody's place, any municipality, without your permission. Well, I want to call your attention to something that Mike Bruce said. I'm done?
You're done. Thank you, sir. Councilman Randy Cluott.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Law. I brought this up before. I've had a lot of folks in my district. I represent District 6, the Santa Monica area. And we talked about it in the last meeting. And we had, everybody needs to get kind of schooled up on it, whatever. But this southern loop is just not feasible. It's all over the map. It's continued to move. There's the financial plan for the whole project is shaky, even with the public-private money and the toll. The long-term plans don't pay for the road. My main concern representing people is that we have land that's tied up. We have people that might want to build a house in 2 years. They might want to sell a house in 5 years. They might want to split up land. They might want to do some things with it. This loop has not had anything positive about it since we've been looking at it, going through meeting after meeting after meeting. There's nothing good for this Ascension Parish on the way it's proposed right now. I do believe that we do have some infrastructure problems. We've got some traffic problems in Baton Rouge. My God, it wasn't that many years ago that they finally gave I-10 a dedicated lane to get off of the bridge. So there's a lot of things that can be done. There's a lot of projects that were proposed to take care of moving traffic through Baton Rouge, through Ascension Parish, through Livingston Parish, on into West Baton Rouge. This thing right here is just moved around and moved around. I don't think it's worth trying to sit here and let them move forward from Tier 1 to Tier 2. And like I said, I represent folks, and that's what my constituency wants. I've asked, the last time I brought it up, talked about a resolution. I think I've talked to most of the council members, a lot more people in business, a lot more people in public since the last meeting. I'm ready tonight to offer up a motion that the Ascension Parish Council, as the governing body of Ascension Parish, enter into the comments to the CAEA on the Baton Rouge Loop that we're in opposition of the Southern Loop as proposed.
I'll second
Okay, I have a motion from Councilman Cluott and a second from Councilman Todd Lambert to enter into the comments, official comments, that the Ascension Parish Council is opposed to the Southern Loop. Any other discussion? Councilman Schexnayder.
Yes, thank you, Chairman Lowell. I agree 200% with Councilman Cluott. I've been speaking with people, the preparation and the lack of viability, I guess would be the best word, of some type of Southern Loop going through the parish. I hadn't met 5 people yet that would say, yes, I support the loop and I support this route and this method of funding it and this method of doing this. When you really get down to the brass tacks, it's just not practical in Ascension Parish. That being said, I hadn't met 5 people that were against utilizing the 3 bridges that we have across the Mississippi River, Sunshine Bridge, and the Luling Bridge, and take a plan that was put forth 30 years ago of extending 3127 on the West Bank and make it a very viable option, a 4-lane highway, and have that going through. And then the people that really want to avoid traffic congestion in Baton Rouge has an option. Because believe me, whenever I'm going to Lafayette, many times I go across the Sunshine Bridge and go across and go down a 2-lane highway through Plaquemine, through Port Allen, and catch the interstate there because it's simply faster. And if we had a major 4-lane highway there, the growth could occur in an area where people want growth. The economic development could occur where people want economic development and where there's room for economic development and room for growth. And so with that being said, I agree with
and want to support Councilman Kluwat's opposition in a resolution to the Southern Loop and put an amendment on it that we are in support of the West Bank Expressway connecting the three bridges, and there's numerous ways of funding it, and it's only about $600,000 with the latest study, $600 million with the latest study, instead of $4 billion. And I think it's something very viable, and it would do something very quickly to help the traffic, and then we can continue to work on the interstates, as the gentleman said earlier. So I'd like to offer that as an amendment.
Okay, I have an amendment to the motion by Councilman Schexnayder and second by Councilman Joseph, that the amendment being, in addition to the opposition, that there is support for three bridges. Could you restate them? To connect. Okay.
Those.
To connect. Okay. Any discussion on that or the main motion? President Martinez?
Yes, I'd like to add my name to that resolution, please.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay. Any other discussion? Any opposition? Amended motion passes. Okay, item number 9, certificate of substantial completion for the Ascension Parish Skate Park, Phase 1. Mr. Gotro.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, council members. We submitted to y'all the substantial completion of the skate park located on Irma Boulevard. They went running way ahead of schedule. We got people using it out there on Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays now a lot. We had no change orders on it whatsoever on it.
Okay, I got a motion by Councilman Todd Lambert and a second by Councilman Brian Melanson to accept the certificate of substantial completion. Discussion, Councilman Schexnayder.
Real quick, Garney, I want to bring up something that's kind of a problem, is the success. It's such a great project. If you pass by there after dark, people are bringing their cars and trucks and putting their lights on in order for kids to play. It's so popular. And if you pass by, so congratulations on a great project for the kids and the people here. And I guess we need to start looking forward to see if there's some kind of way eventually we can put lights, because people want to use it all the time. So it's a great problem to have, but
This shows you what someone can do for 6 years. Brandon fought for this for like 6 years with Sherry Kitchen, and when I first came on the board, it was a dream of theirs, you know. And this is just completing another thing that President Martinez and the council all supported. I mean, it wasn't a popular thing when we first started. If you go out to the park Saturday, Sunday, you'd be surprised at how many people's out there. And most of them are 25, 30 years old. I mean, we have some young ones. The age surprises me. So I want to tell y'all that we have the ribbon cutting February the 4th from 12 to 5. And if you want to bring y'all skateboards, we'd like to have y'all out there. You know, and if you don't have one, we can borrow y'all one.
You gonna bring an ambulance and EMS with that, or what?
You got skills. Councilman Jessup.
Garney, once again, I'm going to have to congratulate you on it, because I know how long I was here when it first started. And congratulations on it.
Well,
and I'm just surprised that you did not bring any pictures tonight.
Well, we're going to have a recreation committee meeting this month, and we have a complete breakdown of the whole construction of it. We'll be glad to show it to y'all. You know,
Thank
for
you,
sure.
Garney.
But, you know, it's not me. It's all of y'all, past, present, the workers I have that's devoted to recreation, and they don't mind stepping up to the plate for us. You know, and I thank y'all.
Councilman Todd Lambert.
Gordy, I don't know if the 6 gentlemen that came 6 years ago, young boys that was real aggressive in putting this together, are still involved in it, but I want you to commend them also.
They'll be there.
They got something to be thankful for, too.
Well,
Cause
they tickle to death, and
Yeah.
they're older now. They was 18.
Yeah,
now
they were
they're
18
24.
then, and they were real
That's right.
aggressive and real
But, you know,
encouraging.
it goes to show you that if a resident or someone wants something and they come before the council and everything else, it can happen, you know, and that's what made it happen.
President Martinez, did you have something?
I just want to commend the contractor. I think it's been one of the best contractors that I've ever worked with. It's not often I can get up here and say that, but I would just tell you they did an excellent job. They did what they were supposed to do, and didn't waste any time doing it. So, and they're very professional in doing it. So I want to commend them for the job that they did.
Okay. Councilman Lasso?
I just wanted to reiterate what a lot of the other councilmen said, but and not just on weekends. I live right here in subdivision across the street. I pass down Irma pretty much every night, and I haven't passed yet in the last couple of weeks that it hadn't been full of people, day or night. So I think it's an awesome project. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, thank y'all.
Appreciate it. Okay. We had a motion and a second, and discussion. Any further discussion? Any opposition? Motion to accept the certificate passes. Item number 10, condemnation proceedings, 38032 Highway 621. Mr. Bourgeois or President Martinez.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the council. And, I've seen that Parish President Martinez's name was on this agenda item. Give him opportunity if you need.
I just want to say I support you, and we need to demolish this building. I'll just make it simple, because it needs to be taken care of.
All right, thank you. Gentlemen and ladies, we have a issue here for condemnation proceeding that, again, I'm here to ask for guidance from you, and it involves the address of 38032 Highway 621. It's in Council District 4. There's a timeline frame that starts from 07 to present date. Coming here and ask you again to read the descriptions of what the events have gone down. And it's a building that's been dealt with on several occasions. The owners on a couple of times did some cleanup, did some partial demolishing. There are still remaining structures there that in the event if they are in the process of constructing a new building there, but the time frame that's been going on here has been too long, and it's time for them to either build the building or take care and clean up the properties in an appreciable manner and make it within the guidance of the dangerous building ordinance, which would be kind of like the second phase of it. With that said, I think there's members on both sides that may wish to be recognized tonight, and if at the wishes of the president, we could listen them out and hopefully make a decision to go forward.
I'm sorry, Laverne, you said there are residents here that wish to speak on it tonight?
I see some in the audience, yes, sir.
We don't have anybody signed.
I don't have anybody signed in, so
I would like to
pleasure
hear-
of the group
I would like
with the
to hear
group.
from
Okay,
them.
that's fine.
Mr. Chairman.
If the
Both
first
parties.
resident would like to speak on this item, that'd be fine.
Been subpoenaed, so
Yeah.
they've been subpoenaed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good evening to all. I'm here to translate for my my aunt. What, do we need to sign in?
That's fine. Go ahead. You just have 3 minutes, sir.
Okay. We need to ask for extension because her main objective is to build the building. Last year in November, she did hire a contract to demo the existing building, but I don't know why they didn't completely demo the whole building itself, and the permit closed out on that end. Took her a year to get her plan drawn, and I'm involved in getting her finance and to renew her. Actually, her 1-year construction loan was ballooned, and she did renew the construction loan. Her main objective is to build the facility. The architecture finally got everything done. Now, the builder, Naval Construction, is the one that pulled the permit. The only thing they're missing is the $5,000 surety bond. And she did request willing to pledge $5,000 CD to the parish in place of surety bond. But Mr. Laverne say it's unacceptable, so the builder is applying for, in process of getting the surety bond $5,000 to pull the permit and get this project going. So we're asking for time to, if she can pull the permit to demo, she would go ahead and demo the existing infrastructure that the existing contractor did last year. She lost so much money with that contract. So she's in the situation that she can't sleep on this because she actually really wants to get this project going.
Okay. Okay, thank you. The Chair would entertain a motion to condemn or a motion to extend or whatever the pleasure of the group is. Councilman Satterley?
Oh, thank you. Since this item is in my district, I want to say a couple things. First off, I would like to thank Mr. Bourgeois for personally spending time with me to bring me up to speed on it. I've examined the packet, and unfortunately, sir, I noticed that this has been going on since November 19th of 2007. And I do realize that you're saying that you want to do something about it. It seems throughout the history, the timeline presented to me, it's been back and forth as to whether or not that's going to happen. But the final thing that I see is that every particular structural item to the building in question is considered by Mr. Bourgeois to be 100% deteriorated. Mr. Bourgeois also indicated to me that the first choice of Ascension Parish is always to get a citizen to fix a problem whenever a building is abandoned or becomes deteriorated as a result of the same, because that is a cheaper way to go. Because frankly, I've been told it's going to cost the parish more than it's worth to accept it and to try to do something with it. And even a bigger issue to me personally, and is this: anything that poses a risk to the health, safety, and welfare of the general citizens of the parish, that's serious. So I regret to inform you, I'm not going to be able to support your case tonight. And Mr. Chairman, if you want that in the form of a motion, I'm willing to do that.
Okay. Motion to condemn by Councilman Satterley, a second by Councilman Scheck-Snyder. Any other discussion?
Discussion, Mr. Chairman.
Councilman Dempsey Lambert.
Laverne, on all the structure part, what about underground? I know they had some gas tanks and different things, and
Yeah.
underground, did we take a look at
Those were
anything hazardous?
those were taken care of in the past years. EPA had them removed, so there's no
tanks there.
problem with that.
Okay.
Let me clear up what he just mentioned. We have a set of approved plans. Been working on them since July this year. I recommend they either begin the construction, which does not going to entail keeping those walls and the other structure that's there, because originally that's what was going to be there. So it's come to impasse that they need to either start the building construction, get their proper permits, which they do not have. There's a misunderstanding on the amount of money on a surety bond. We couldn't accept a $5,000 cash bond. It's a surety bond which they could get from the insurance company for about $150. So that's what they contracted to do in order to come and purchase a permit. Now, the part of demolition, what they have there, if they take that building out, according to our zoning, they have 6 months to construct a building there. But tonight, we're asking to demo what's remained of the existing building to clean up the properties. Then they could proceed further with reconstructing the building.
And Laverne, to clarify, so the motion to condemn that's on the table would do just what you just said, as far
It would
as
do exactly what I said and what they just said, to give them and it's always in the ordinance a 30-day reprieve. They would have 30 days to come in, get their permit, demo what they have there, and that would take out the remaining portion of the building.
Okay. Councilman Johnson.
That's the original, sound like that's what the original intent is anyway, that they want to demo it. So you got basically 30 days within the ordinance to get your documentation and stuff and take care of it on your own, is what it sounds like.
That's correct, Mr. Benny. And what prompted me to come tonight is the impasse here that I need to make a move, and we need the decision you guys to make it forward to go further.
Okay. Any further discussion? Councilman Joseph?
Yeah, and that's, I just want to clarify, Mr. King. It's the 31, on a 31 day, you go in and destroy.
That's correct, but they have an opportunity at their expense to go and take the building down at no cost to the parish.
The cost.
We would just oversee that it's getting done.
Okay. Any further discussion? Okay, I have a motion to condemn and a second on the floor. Any objection? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Laverne. Item number 11 is the approval of substantial completion for the Intersections Improvements Projects, Phase 2-B, U.S. Highway 61 and 621 and 929 with expert maintenance. Mr. Ben Laurie.
Good evening to all of you. I'm here asking for your approval of the substantial completion. All work has been done. The punch list has been prepared and submitted to the contractor, and they've just about completed all the items on there.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Councilman Joseph, second by Councilman Johnson. Any discussion?
Just one, Mr. Chairman.
Councilman Dempsey Lambert.
Yeah, Ben, I want to thank you for the good work, and also on the timeline, everything went well. So, thank you.
I'd like to add to that, I've gotten a lot of positive comments now, so appreciate that. All right, and I have a motion and a second. Any objection? Motion passes. Item number 12 is a request for qualifications for the architectural design for a prototype fire station. Ms. Joan?
On November 22nd, 2011, the Purchasing Department received 12 proposals for architectural design for a prototype fire station for Fire District Number 3. After review, the Professional Selection Committee recommends accepting the qualification statement submitted by Domain Design and to authorize the parish president to begin contract negotiations for this service.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Councilman Todd Lambert, second by Councilwoman Terry Casso for the Domain Design Architecture to receive the RFQ. I'm sorry, to accept their bid to negotiate. Okay. Any discussion, President Martinez.
After you get through this item, I'd like to make one comment, please.
Okay. Any objection or further discussion? That item passes. President Martinez.
I just want to ask all of you to keep CFO's mother, Gwen LeBlanc's mother, in your prayers. She fell and broke her hip today, and that's where she's at tonight, and they're waiting on a surgeon, and she's an elderly woman, so please keep her in your prayers tonight.
Okay. Will do. Councilman Dempsey Lambert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I also want to let everyone know that our Ascension Parish 4-H pet show is going on tonight at Lamar Dixon. Let's go out and support our youth on that tonight. Thank you.
Okay.
That's going to go on all weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Councilman Lawson.
Yeah, I actually just wanted to comment on where we were back at the beginning with the firemen. I spent a good bit of time in the last couple of days with Mr. Chief James and the family that had the fire, and we've done a lot of stuff for them. It's been great. They've been just overwhelmed by the support of the community. And she actually, even to show how awesome Ascension Parish is, she commented to me, I've lived in this place for 17 years, never knew any of my neighbors. Every single one of them showed up that morning to help out in some way, bring something, do something. She was overwhelmed by the support. But we as Chief James said, we're not done yet. We still need some more things for them. It's a family that didn't have much to begin with and had no insurance and lost everything. And so we've been trying to work on some ways to help them out going forward. And that was, I know, one of the things that James and I discussed was we wanted to make a plea if there's any construction companies that may want to donate some time and equipment to help clean that lot off, and any movers or somebody that might have an old trailer that we could put on there and kind of get some work done too, and be able to help them as a transition place so they can get back on their feet. That would be very, very appreciated.
Okay, great. Okay, Councilman Todd Lambert.
Motion to adjourn, Mr.
Motion to
Chairman.
adjourn. Second by Councilman Johnson. So adjourned.